listening to Lore Club, an audio narrative series. In this episode, we present you a supercut of my performance of the MyHouse.WAD journal entries, written by Veddge for the Doomworld forums. MyHouse.WAD is both a Doom mod and a work of unfiction with ARG elements. Along with the game files is a TXT file with a series of devlogs that occur over the course of about a year. Suffice to say, this is a sort of reimagined version of those logs. Occasional loud or distorted audio ahead. I had originally bridged the gap to Season 2 of the show with daily uploads of these journal entries for two reasons. First, this podcast began as an entirely video game-related endeavor, and I don't see that ever fully changing. Second, I wanted you to consider, what is it that makes unfiction, or even fanfiction, separate from other kinds of narrative? Today I woke up to the news that an old childhood friend of mine had suddenly passed away. I can't believe it. We were so close when we were younger, and I feel like a part of my life is now missing. I feel so helpless, like I can't do anything to bring him back. I'm just so sad. Like, I know it's cheesy, but like my heart is heavy. I can't help it. The times we had together growing up, all of our adventures and our secrets and our arguments. I miss him so much, and I can't believe he's gone. Sorry. I'm really struggling to cope with the news, and it's just hard to focus on anything else. My therapist said recording these might help me process things and come to terms with what happened. I know that my friend would want me to remember the good times and continue to live life to the fullest. I attended his funeral, and the grief is overwhelming. Like, looking around at everyone else in the room, and you can feel the sadness in the air. The service was, beautiful, and the pastor said some kind words. And, it made me feel a little better. After service, I went back to his parents' house and spent some time with them. It was weird being there and being reminded of, all the fun we had there growing up. I never imagined that I'd be saying goodbye to him so soon. I sat with his parents, and we reminisced about all the memories we shared. At the end of the visit, his parents gave me some old personal items that belonged to him. God, this is I I found a stack of old discs containing some Doom file backups. It was emotional. You know, I'm grateful to have those to remember him by. Um, Later, I'll go through some of his old artwork and stuff and see what I can recover from the discs. That's it for now. I spent some time looking through my friend's sketchbook, just in case there was something important in there. I didn't really know what to expect, but I definitely wasn't prepared for the artwork I found inside. The sketches were mostly abstract and dark. There's a lot of imagery depicting death and sadness and despair. And as you go deeper, the artwork seems to get increasingly darker. I can't imagine the depth of dread. So, anyways, that left me a bit shaken. I decided I'd seen enough and closed the book for now. After that, I decided to try and take my mind off of things and do, a little Amazon shopping. I need a USB 3.5-inch floppy drive if I'm going to try to recover some of these old files. God knows whether anything can be retrieved from these discs. They're nearly 20 years old. Yeah, fingers crossed. That's it for now. My package finally arrived in the mail, so I spent the day going through the old floppy disks. Plugged it in, started to play around with it, and I was surprised to find that I could actually recover data from them. I had some old files from my high school days that I thought were long gone, but, here we are. My friend and I used to make Doom maps in high school, and I was really excited to find them again. But then I stumbled across a map that I hadn't seen before. It was a map of my friend's house. I was surprised to learn that he'd been working on this map in secret. Playing through it, I realized maybe the best way to honor our friendship is to clean up his work and release it to the public. I don't know. We never made any of our Doom stuff available to others. I guess we were, young and intimidated by everything we saw in the community, all the great stuff being produced. But I mean, I'm impressed with the quality of what's currently there in the map. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a tribute or something. Maybe this is stupid. That's it for now. I spent this morning doing something I haven't done in years. Browse doomworld for the most recent Doom editing tools. I was amazed to find how easy and accessible the new tools were compared to what I was what I was used to back in the mid-aughts. I ended up downloading Ultimate Doom Builder and Slade, both of which proved to be incredibly useful. Ultimately, Doom Builder made the mapping really easy and straightforward. I was able to quickly create a basic map without much trouble. And I'm actually excited to see what I can achieve with a little more practice. Oh, Slade was also much better at managing resources than trying to use Wintex, which if I remember right, is what we used back in the day. I'm feeling more comfortable now that I can finish his map and maybe add some new features, spruce it up as well. I had the strangest dream last night about my childhood friend who recently passed away. Sorry, train. We were playing Legos in his basement like we used to do as kids, and when I turned around, he was gone. And the house was empty and silent, and everything was so quiet and still. And I started to smell smoke and hear screams from upstairs. And I ran upstairs, and when I got there, the house was just a burned frame. And smoke was getting thicker and thicker, and I could barely see or breathe. And I searched for him, but I couldn't find him anywhere. I couldn't see anything. I started to panic, and then I found myself outside in the fog. I was alone, but I could hear like low growls in the distance. And when I woke up, I wished so badly that it was all just a dream, but I knew deep down that it was real. I just miss my friend so much. And it's hard to think that he's gone. I know you're not supposed to dwell on these things. After a while, it starts to consume you. It's kind of funny because it made me order a replacement set of smoke detectors with CO2 sensors just in case. Oh, fuck. That's it for now. Today I made a post on Doomworld showing off my friend's map. There's more to do on the map, but hopefully this is the encouragement that I need to finish the map and, push it out for release. I thought it would be a simple project, but the more I learn about the new UDMF features, the more things I've been adding to, just make it more interesting. Like, I want the project to maintain the original aesthetic my friend was working on, but I'm trying to find that fine line between the original vanilla map and a cleaned up release that feels like a little less 90s. Oh, October already. Been super busy with work, so I haven't had time to work on the map. I did, however, go back and look through the sketchbook again and started scanning some of them into the computer for posterity. Scrolling through the drawings, it's really obvious he had taken a dark turn. Each sketch is more unhinged and disturbing than the last. I can just feel the worry run down my spine as I realize more and more that my friend's mental health might have been in a really fragile state. Today was a long day at work, but I was really looking forward to coming home and getting some mapping in. I decided to order some pizza first, so I called up my favorite pizza place, placed my order. It felt so good to be able to just relax and enjoy some good food. I really need to do that more often. Once the pizza arrived, I set it aside, got to work on the Doom map. I've been working on it for a while now, and I'm making good progress. I know it's silly, but I'm determined to make him proud. I spent a few hours tweaking and refining the map. It just felt really good to mess with some of the new UDMF features. It definitely feels more fluid, aligning the floors without having to draw new textures every time. Eventually, after a few hours, I took a break and had some of that pizza I ordered. After dinner, I went back to work on my map again, making some more tweaks and finishing up some of the details. I can't wait to release it. I think people are gonna love all the Doom cute elements in this map, especially. That's it for now. I know that sharing is a big part of the Doom community, but a small part of me doesn't want people to make modifications of this map. Mostly because I feel like this is a tribute and just a vessel for my feelings and emotions. Someone else making changes would just feel wrong. But more importantly, I feel like something wants me to be the only one to work on it. I can't explain it, but when I reached out to the Z-Doom Discord members for help, it seemed like... Oh god, I feel so crazy. It seemed like something didn't want me to upload it for others to work on. It sounds stupid, because I ended up uploading a copy, but for a moment I felt compelled to keep it to myself. Unfortunately, my post on Doomworld was well received, and it seems most people aren't bothered by the idea that an author doesn't want to make their map available for modifications, so we'll see. I'm recording this much later after the fact, but I had an incredibly vivid dream last night, and I can't stop thinking about it. It's been happening for several weeks now, so I feel like I should start documenting them. I wrote it down, so I'm just gonna read it. I awoke in a cold sweat, my heart pounding in my ears. I felt a chill run down my spine, and I knew something was wrong. I laid in bed, too afraid to move, and I heard a faint, ghostly cry coming from the attic. I had heard this sound before, but this time it was louder and more insistent. I tried to ignore it, telling myself it was just my imagination, but the more I tried to push it away, the louder it became. So I had no choice but to investigate. I got out of bed and slowly crept up the stairs to the attic, and my heart was pounding so hard I thought it would burst out of my chest. As I entered the attic, I noticed a trail of children's toys leading out the window. I followed the trail. I felt compelled to follow the trail. The trail led me to an abandoned daycare center near the edge of town. I stayed back. In my dream, I was, afraid to enter, but I couldn't help but feel drawn to the place. I knew there was something waiting for me inside, something dark and dangerous. I took a deep breath and stepped inside, and the place was dark and silent, but as I walked around, I noticed the walls were covered in just eerie drawings of children and babies. And then I heard the sound of a baby crying again, coming from the back room. I followed the sound, and when I reached the back of the room, I saw a crib with what looked like a stillborn baby inside. That was what was haunting me. That baby was the one in the attic. I backed away, and my heart was pounding in my ears, and I knew I had to leave. So I ran out the door and woke up. Oh my god. It's been a long day. I am exhausted. I had every intention of getting some rest earlier, but
here I am, still wide awake and struggling to keep my eyes open. I can't help but feel like I'm forgetting something. But I also can't put my finger on it. I had so much planned for today. Or did I? I can't remember. I'm trying to remember what I did yesterday, but it's all a blur. Was I working on a Doom map? I feel like I must have been, but I can't remember adding any new geometry or details, and all the new scripts are like completely foreign to me. I don't remember writing them. I'm just so frustrated. And I'm starting to get really worried that maybe this insomnia is making me crazy. It's late now. And I am determined to get some proper sleep tonight. I just wanted to record this. Hopefully I can make some sense of all of this in the morning. I was actually able to get some sleep last night. However, I keep having these vivid, cryptic dreams, and they keep feeling more personal and unsettling. I'm starting to prefer the tiresome days to the dreams. I wrote it down. So I was dreaming about taking a nice hot bath, and I felt myself sinking deeper and deeper into the warm water until I couldn't breathe. I tried to scream, but obviously no sound escaped my lips. I was just drowning in my own bathtub. And then suddenly I felt a jolt, as if I'd been pulled out of the water. And when I opened my eyes, I found myself in this like subterranean cave, illuminated by just like eerie blue light. I could feel the chill in the air, and I could hear, this is going to sound silly, it was just like the echoing of demons in the distance. And I tried to scream, but my voice was muffled by the darkness of the cave, and I felt a chill run down my spine as I realized I was being hunted by something unseen. I heard claws scraping on the rocks, and I felt the ground shaking beneath me. I was terrified, and I started to run. I ran and ran until I found a small crevice in the wall of a cave, and then I squeezed through it and hid in the darkness, hoping whatever it was wouldn't find me. Eventually, I woke in my own bed, safe and sound, but I couldn't help but feel a lingering fear that the demons were out there, watching and waiting. It's 4:30 a.m. and I'm still up working on this map for Doom. I can't believe I've been up this late. I'm exhausted. I'm not sure why. I've been having trouble sleeping lately. I just can't seem to shut my mind off. And I'm really starting to feel it. I've been more irritable than usual, and my coworkers are starting to notice. I'm just a lot more on edge and jumpy than I used to be. I'm playing back the map to check my work, and I'm finding all of these new additions I don't remember adding. It's like the map has a mind of its own, But that's impossible, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just exhausted and I'm not thinking straight. I guess I should just take it as a sign that I need to get some rest. Today I decided to take a day off work. I was just so tired. I couldn't focus anymore. I've been having trouble sleeping for weeks now, and I just need to rest. Christmas is coming soon, so I can spend time with family. I'm really looking forward to it, even though I don't really feel like being around people. It would be nice to have some time away from school and just relax. I'm sure there'll be, fun, and there'll be plenty of laughter and good times and all that. Here's hoping that I'll be well rested and ready to face the world again soon. I was just in the bathroom, standing in front of the mirror, shaving, and as I looked at my reflection, I swear it winked at me. It was so unexpected that I threw my razor at the mirror. And I expected it to shatter, but it stayed intact. I was even more surprised when I put my hand through the mirror and I could feel the glass. I kept going and I was able to climb all the way into the mirror. It was like a tunnel. And when I looked back, I saw myself in the mirror, and this time I winked back. It was so surreal, but I felt like I belonged there. There was something comforting about being in the mirror. Like it was my home. I woke up feeling so confused. I still can't believe it was just a dream. Today was supposed to be my first day back at work after the holiday break, but I decided to take one more day off to work on MyHouse.WAD. I've been spending hours every day mapping out and organizing the project, but I'm starting to feel like it's taking on a life of its own. Despite being unable to remember making many of the changes, I keep finding new things appearing in the project. I'm starting to feel a little paranoid, like someone is watching me and is controlling the direction of the project. It's such a strange feeling, and I'm not sure how to explain it. I just feel like I'm not in control anymore. It's so unnerving, but I have to finish this project. I wrote down another dream. I was driving along a road in the woods when all of a sudden my car veered off the road and crashed into a tree. I woke up to find myself in the driver's seat with an injured and bleeding leg. My head was spinning and I felt disoriented. I dragged myself out of the car and hobbled my way through the woods in hopes of finding help. My leg was just in so much pain and I felt like I was going to faint. I saw a gas station, some lights through the trees. I was relieved to find it open, but then I realized there was nobody there. I had no idea where everybody had gone. As I was standing there, I heard some strange noises coming from the woods around me. I was too scared to investigate, so I just stood there, just feeling scared and alone. And suddenly I heard a car in the distance and started limping toward it. Fortunately, it was a taxi driver who was able to take me to the hospital. I eventually woke up in a cold sweat, not sure if I was relieved or disappointed that it was just a dream. I have an extended weekend because of MLK Day, so I thought I'd try to wrap this thing up before March. I had trouble opening the map. Doom Builder and Slade both reported being unable to locate the file. Apparently, during a previous editing session, I compiled the map as a PK3, and both editors were looking for, a previous copy in WAD format. I had been reading tutorials on how to convert WAD files to PK3, and I guess I must have thrown everything into a new file at some point in, my exhausted stupor, because I don't remember converting the project into a different format. Last night, I had a nightmare that felt so real. I can still feel it as I record this. So I was on an airplane, and I was the only passenger. And I looked out the window to see the ground below and noticed unfamiliar terrain. I had no idea where I was or where I was going. And suddenly the plane started to shake violently, and I heard a loud noise coming from the engine. In the distance, I could see just a massive storm cloud coming toward me. And I tried to call out to the pilot, but I couldn't hear them over the sound of the engine. The plane started to dive, and suddenly I felt this huge jolt. I looked out the window again and saw the plane was heading for some kind of structure. I closed my eyes, and I felt the plane crash. I felt the impact, and I heard the screams and cries of people I couldn't see around me. And then I woke up and my heart was pounding, and I was drenched in sweat. I don't know if it's the memories of my friend that keep flooding back while working on this map, but I need to take a break. This project, it started as a simple cleanup and release as a memorial. It's just consumed all of my free time. Hours pass and I'm not aware of the time or even familiar with the work added to the map. I'm gonna stop mapping for a while and come back later when I'm in a better place. I mapped again last night. And tonight. I'll take a break for real this time. I just hope it'll let me. Happy Valentine's Day to the only person I ever loved. For a short time, you brought a little happiness to this painful existence called life. I hope we can be together again one day. In the meantime, I'll keep looking for that other someone who can be the ray of light in my life that you could have been. I didn't make this area of the map. I'm sure of it. It's still a house that Thomas started all those years ago, but it's different. It's changed. The map I've been detailing and cleaning up for release is still here, but it's now intertwined with too many tags and sector references to separate it from these new areas. I would be more disturbed if it wasn't so beautiful. I took more time off of work to finish the map. After 13 years, I've got the hours, but more important, the map needs me. Without my guiding hand, the map doesn't know what to build, but I can help it, guide it. It seems to respond to my designs, changing them to match my emotional state. It knows what I'm feeling. It knows how Thomas felt. I can no longer tell what elements of this map are my friends, which are mine, and what the map has created. I'm not afraid anymore. The map was creating itself. It needs me as much as I need it. Which reminds me of a dream I had the other night. I'm not sleeping much, but I recall this one with surprising clarity, so I went ahead and wrote it down. I was standing on a beach, staring out at the placid water, the ocean stretching as far as the eye could see. Seagulls cawed overhead, and the gentle caress of water lapped the sand in front of me. I dipped my toes into the water. At least I tried. There was no water, no ocean. It was an illusion. I realized everything around me was fake. The birds, the trees, the sand, It was all a one-act play. And I was Willie Loman, a damn fool who believed in something greater. But there was no happiness to be found. I wandered the set only to find myself staring into oblivion. It was the end of time itself. No joy, no misery, no sadness, only emptiness. Men of faith tell us the afterlife is for eternity, but is it possible to keep your sanity for eternity? A day passes in the void, a month, a year, 2, 5, 10. Is this an eternity? 20 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. I've sat in this room now for 1,000,000 years, entertaining the same thoughts, pondering the same questions, and I ruminated on every mistake in my life, anguishing over them for centuries. 1,000,000,000 years now. Double that. Double it again. I am still nowhere close to the end of eternity. I pray for death, but it never comes. Just me, and my thoughts, and my mistakes, and my insecurities, and my regrets, and my loneliness. Somewhere in another dream, the version of myself that winked back is still sitting on the beach, happy and content, thinking life is finite. There's no afterlife, and happiness is found in the small things around us that we can control. Happiness has to be fought for. I was wrong. The map is using me. This morning I loaded a Doom Builder backup file from late October and spent a few hours preparing for the map's release. I tried to delete MyHouse.pk3, but I kept getting a file in use error. I don't think the map will let me. I'm going to post it in doomworld tonight, but I don't want anyone playing anything other than the original vanilla release. Whatever this map is doing to me, I can't let it do the same to others. I swear I uploaded the safe copy, but MyHouse.pk3 was uploaded by mistake. I don't know if a lot of people were able to download that before I fixed the link, but hopefully I caught it in time.
Thank you for listening to Lore Club's performance of MyHouse.WAD. I hope this format made it a little easier to sit through than a bunch of individual micro-episodes. Let me know about your experience with MyHouse.WAD or other works of unfiction at lore_club, wherever you stare into that black mirror. Show notes and credits can be found at thefanet.com/loreclub. That's THEFANET.com/loreclub. Our cast this time around was just me, Joseph R. Strom. Music, sound design, and all that jazz was also by me, and you can help me make more cool stuff like this by following me at Speak With Animals on Bandcamp and social media. I'll see you around, and I'll leave you with this. Just because something is monetarily free doesn't mean it isn't valuable or worth investigating more deeply. The real anti-capitalism was the friends we made Doom maps with along the way, or something like that. Anyway, thanks for being here, and bye for now.